The Sony XR A95K QD OLED TV was reviewed recently by PC Mag, and there are findings that will interest a lot of upcoming buyers for this television. Now, what I'm going to say shouldn't sway your decision, but just to inform you, because in this our TV purchasing space these days, you just have to know what you're getting yourself into before you go ahead and pick up the display that you are pretty much looking to get. Now, the thing I have to say before we go on is that the TV is a gorgeous TV. It was given a high praise, but it still wasn't as good as some other TVs from other brands, and that is a bit of a concern because when you look at the price tag of the TVs from LG that they compared it against, as well as the S95B from Samsung, you might start having a different opinion when you check out their review. And what they are saying in their review is that this TV, the A95K, doesn't have as good as a color reproduction and precision and accuracy as the S95B from Samsung, and also it isn't as good in contrast reproduction as the LG C2. In fact, they even say that the LG C2 is better in terms of most aspects about picture quality when you compare it against the A95K from Sony. And one thing I have to say is that ever since QD OLED TVs came out and was pretty much being hyped, being pushed by the mainstream media, one thing that has happened is that they don't really talk so much about the flaws of QD OLED in general. They just hype it because of what QD OLEDs could do over regular OLEDs, but they don't give you the flaws of what, at least where the tech is right now. Because let me make no mistake about it, this is the first generation of QD OLED technology. So there will be issues with these TVs not being perfect, especially when you compare it against OLED TVs that are already probably in their 8th, 10th generation right now as I speak to you. You can compare them, especially the advancement that has gone into regular OLED panels. So the Sony Bravia XR A95K is priced at $4,000 for the 65 inches. That is not a problem. It is about when you start comparing it against the other brands TV prices like the S95B, when you compare their prices, as well as you compare it against the LG C2 price, you now start asking yourself, do I need to pay this much just for the brand name? Because when you look at the fact that they are saying that the C2 basically outperforms this thing in contrast performance, in color reproduction, and having perfect black level, you might start questioning yourself. But one thing the Sony has is impressive Google TV interface. They say that the Google TV interface is good. Yeah, they say that they like the Apple AirPlay 2 feature. They go on with just basic features like Google Cast and Google Assistant features that they actually like. But the funny thing is that they never went on to praise the main thing that you're paying $4,000 for, and that is the picture quality, because they are saying that, look, it's good, the picture quality in isolation is good, but when you now put it side by side against competitors like the LG OLED models, and as well as the Sony, the Samsung model as well, you might start seeing flaws, and that is what they are saying. And they're even saying that, look, it is not always very good to compare sometimes side by side two TVs, because when you do that, you might be swayed towards something else, something a lot more affordable, and you might have a very different opinion at the end of the day. And that is what is going on with these expensive TVs, especially when they are tested side by side against much cheaper options that has flagship specs as well. you might come to that conclusion that maybe it's not really worth that money. It's not that it doesn't have all the features that you might be looking for, but it might not outperform its competitor in the main thing it's designed to do, which is present incredible picture quality. The A95K panel is thicker than the um is thicker than the LG C2 panel. They said that the panel is thicker. That's slightly thicker. It's not by much. It's also thicker than the S95B from Samsung, and it has a slightly thickened design compared to these other competitors. Now that is not technically a big issue for many people because many people can live with slightly bit thicker TV. It's not a problem for people in any respect that way. They also say, look, it does have a good camera that you can use if you want to use the camera on the A95K for your video chatting, which is fine. You could use it for video conferencing if you're interested in that. It does have great features like all the HDR support. It has the latest HDMI 2.1 port. It has the latest USB port. It has a 3.5 millimeter um composite video input. It has a lot on it in terms of connection. You even get one of the ports of the HDMI with ERC support, which I think is really really cool for most people. But other than that, the review still says that it's a very good display because you have features like Amazon Prime Video, Disney Plus, Netflix, Sony's Bravia core service that are good for customers in general. So the TV is good, but it isn't blowing a lot of people away like what it was intended for it to do. And that's a bit of a sad state that it is in right now. They said that the Sony A95K has a 120 Hz refresh rate. It also supports high dynamic range, like your regular HDR10, your Dolby Vision is supported, your high log gamma is supported. It does that really, really well. The only thing that was a problem is that when they started comparing what it can do in terms of brightness output compared to other models, that's where it started falling a bit short. But look, I think this TV is still a fine TV. It has flaws, but people might have to deal with the flaws that it's coming with. And if you can deal with the flaws, I think you will enjoy the TV because I think it's still a wonderful display. Maybe not perfect, but it's still a wonderful display. So that's the my opinion on the review that PC Mag put out for this TV. So just maybe think wisely before going to purchase this TV, especially if you just want something cheaper. You might have to consider another company and another model in general. So that's it. Do subscribe to the channel. I'll see everybody very much next time.